Welcome, Dhaval, to
Thank
Jam
you.
with Sam.
Thank you, Sam, for having me here.
Great to have you here. So, Dhaval, tell us something about your family.
Well, I have two sisters, mother, father. My grandparents are no more. So that's my small little family. I'm not married yet.
Not married yet. So, he's single and ready to mingle.
Ready to mingle.
Great. So, tell us something about your company, where you work.
Well, I work for a company called United Business Media, which is the world's largest B2B media company. We operate in about 30 countries and have close to 200 media brands and 300 expo and conference brands. We cover close to 30 different verticals, industry verticals, and we have brands in each of these verticals across the globe. And we have some of the largest expo brands in the world. In the IT, we have Interop. In pharma and bulk manufacturing, we have something called CPHI. We have gems and jewelry shows which happen across 5 or 6 countries. We have we do the largest gaming expo globally, which is for games developer and we have a website called Gaming Sutra. So we straddle the entire gamut of media possibilities or media options in the B2B space across 30 different industry verticals.
Okay. So tell us something about the largest conference which you have done, personally, which you have set up and run.
So I think one of the largest events that we do for the brand that I drive in India, which is CRN, we did an event which was, which is roughly around 200 delegates. It's a captive audience. So that is what I do essentially. Probably the biggest event that I've done, 230 delegates, and spread across 3 days. In India, the largest event that UBM does is, happens at the Bombay Exhibition Center. It covers the entire Bombay Exhibition Center. It's called CPHI. So that's roughly around 40,000 gross square meters gross and 25 to 28,000 net carpet square meters.
What does CPHI stand for?
CPHI, it's essentially become an acronym. So I honestly don't know the full form of it. It's been around for almost 20-25 years. Okay. So now it's an acronym, but it is for the pharma manufacturing, verticals. So pharma and pharma manufacturing verticals.
So most of pharma companies like your Lupin and your Glaxo, those kind of pharma companies?
So they would essentially be the visitors.
Okay, they'll be the visitors.
But the display guys would essentially be the pharma manufacturing companies, people who make bulk drugs and then export it to, so those are the guys, because in pharma there is a lot of outsourcing that happens, like different components are outsourced. Manufactured, and then people buy them and put them together to make their drugs.
Generally, how do you market your events?
Broadly, because they are B2B events, we focus a lot on alliances, as in, industry alliances, partnerships with associations, partnerships with, communities within those things. For example, in IT, the concept of communities is very, very strong. In gaming, in technology, because I also had a project, or rather a brand called TFMA, Technology for Marketeers and Marketing and Advertising. There again, the sense of community is very, very strong. So we market this, first element is this. Then advertising, we do a lot of visitor promotions, because all of our shows, for example, CPHI gets about 30,000 unique visitors across 3 days, right? Our IT events, get 5,000 to 6,000 visitors, and I'm talking only about B2B. No B2C visitors are allowed. Consumers are allowed at any of our events. So we use a lot of communities, partnerships, associations, and all of that in a specific vertical. Print, advertising. I think in IT, social media. Social media is becoming very, very important.
That's my next question for you.
Absolutely.
How are you using social media?
So honestly speaking, our exposure to social media has been very, very limited. so for a brand that I had, I think CRN, I mean, we do have a social media page, which is not very active, and but we are trying to get there. I think the biggest problem with social media is first to get the strategy right, and then see what is it that you want, because community building is not a one-day job, right? Community building requires a lot of investments, and I think the prime example of that is Sam, because Sam, it's not just happened in Neo Social has taken 3 years?
Yeah, second 3 years.
Yeah, and he's been on there. You have to be very consistent with social media, create an influence circle, for yourself, and I think that's where it starts delivering for you. I think patience is, I mean, my grandfather used to tell my dad and all of us that when you start any new business, you require 1,000 days to set your reputation, credibility. I think that applies to social media as well. And I think social media is also a very entrepreneurial kind of a media, wherein, it works on reputation.
Yes.
Right? It works on reputation. If you really want to leverage it, you have to create that reputation, and the reputation will happen with consistency. So I tell a lot of my, people that I have discussions and all, I said, in brand building, the most important element is consistency, right? To a consistency of quality. If you're innovating, consistency of how frequently you can innovate, that has to be. So I think in a brand, consistency is very important, and social media, I think consistency, there is no, substitute for consistency.
True.
And credibility on social media. So that's something, it's going to take time for us. I mean, we are trying to build that. I believe we could have done much more than what we've done so far. So that's something that, is a pain point for us, and we are working towards it.